Guys, if you got a boat with some ugly cabinets in it, you need to watch this video. I'm going to show you everything you need to know to make them look good. Stick around to the end of the video and you find out where to order the laminates and everything you need to remodel your cabinets. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm totally remodeling this boat for the Great Loot. If you don't know what that is, hit subscribe. Okay, I got a panel here and I'm going to use it as a template. It's a little rotted out here, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. I'll use the plywood somewhere else. Just need to get this up. Screwed in from the back side, but it had paper over it, so I don't even want to fight with trying to get it. So this is your straight edge. You want to put it right on this edge. Use this as your straight edge. You're going to do is pull it up and get it on your edge. I'm going to leave this. This is the other part of the door. You'll see it in a minute. The paper here, it'll work fine for the outline until it gets to the wood. Hardest thing is getting templates made, so this makes it easy. And then I got plenty of plywood I use for other things. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my jigsaw and cut this out, and we'll go from there. So I put it in here for a dry fit, as we call it. It's pretty good. I want to take just a hair off so this will move back a hair, and then that'll be good. All right, I'll go back out and cut it. Go ahead and cover the inside. So it's just a little bit here I got to cut off. So realize that there's a panel both right and left of the refrigerator. I'm going to use one panel to template the one that I don't have and make it just a little smaller. All right, guys, all I did is duplicated that from the template, from the one that's going on the right side. I marked it and cut it out, and then we're going to try it, see how it fits. This is where it gets a little harder. This is where you got to take this piece in and out. You're trying to figure out what this is going to be. It's going to end up over here. I can see this has got to get cut here. I want it as tight as it can be though. I want a nice snug fit up here. So I'm going to cut it slowly. You just want to go slow so you don't cut too much. I would say if you don't work with wood very much, that you use a piece of cardboard to template this. But I do this a lot as far as cutting pieces and judging. So I'm gonna say, if you've never done this, think about using a piece of cardboard. That way, once you get your piece cut, you could come back in and then cut it again without making a mistake. Guys, let's talk about the plywood that you use. Ideally, you would use a marine grade plywood, which this is not, but you would use a marine grade plywood and you would never have a problem with water. I will not let the boat leak so that it would damage the plywood, but you can believe that I won't let it leak.
Much closer, much closer.
Okay, now that I have my panels cut out, both of them, I realize that the refrigerator is going to sit out a little bit on the one on the right. So if you look there, I've got corn holding down a little piece of plywood that I've glued, and I'm gonna let it set up overnight. So I was using the corn as a weight. You'll see what that means in a minute. All right, the reason that you're now seeing carpet is where that panel is going to set, the carpet is going to be up under it. So I've got to drop back and put a loop piece of carpet in that panel is going to sit on. You'll see that too in a minute. Okay, let's get to the meat of it. This is laminate. That is a general term like you would say car. The brand is Wilson Art, like you would say Ford or Chevy. Laminate is basically a plastic. That is why it is a good product to use in boats, because it's plastic and it's water resistant. So most of your laminates, or as far as the vertical pieces, come in a 4x8 sheet, and you have to cut it down to size so that you don't waste a bunch of laminate. The stuff's expensive. Here I have a table saw to cut mine down, but you don't have to do that. You could use a skill saw set to about an 1/8 inch cut over the top of a piece of plywood, and you can cut like that. And I'm also going to demonstrate that. Now let me also say, if you have a table saw, this would be the easiest way of cutting your laminate. Remember the little piece that I glued on, I showed you earlier? This is what is going to cover that piece of laminate. Remember, this is spray grade glue, and you got to spray both sides. Here I'm going to spray the laminate side, and then I will spray the wood side. Remember, glue is just rubber, and rubber sticks to itself. Once the flashing agent flashes off, there's 2 parts of rubber and they stick together. And let me tell you, that bond is very strong. Guys, that's what close-up of the spray looks like. It's about 90% to 100 covered. Since I'm gonna cover that edge, I'm gonna spray this way so it don't get on it. So I'll tell you, the manufacturer recommends that you spray 100% coverage on the edges, and then you can go 80% in the interior. Okay, guys, I don't recommend that you do it like I'm doing it. You got to remember, I've been doing this for many years. If you're new to this, I recommend you use your dowels, which I'll demonstrate in just a minute. This is a laminate trimmer. You can get many kinds. This is Ryobi. I'll show you some other ones though. A laminate trimmer has what's called a flush trimming bit on it. That part of the bit runs on your material, and then that little angle there cuts it. Right? The biggest mistake you can make is to tilt it. But if you're running with the base, as long as you keep that base flat, you can't tilt it.
So you can see where I've cut it and where I have it. And so all you do is just keep it flat, come in on it, never stop on the material, because if you stop on it, it'll burn it. So just come in. When you're coming counterclockwise when you're cutting on the outside, clockwise when you're cutting on the inside. You can back up, it just doesn't cut as well. Really that easy. Alright, what I'll do is I'll take a sander and lightly sand it. You're just knocking off anything standing up. Put the piece up here, spray it. A while ago the wind caught it and blew it. But as long as you clean it off, it's okay. This is not something you got to keep sanding. As long as you knock off anything that's sticking up, it'll be fine. I have these things called guards. They're cabinet backing, but you could use cardboard. You could use anything. It's just so you don't spray on your work table. First thing I'm going to spray, though, is the piece of laminate. One of the reasons you spray your laminate first, you make sure it covers the piece, that it's big enough. It says 100% coverage on your edges. Coverage on your edges and 80% in the middle. So I just try to make sure it's good and covered where the edges are. A little windy today.
One thing that you can do that I failed to show on here, but you got to remember I've done this many times, is you can lay your piece of laminate down and then mark it with your working wood.
This stuff is super easy. It's not hard at all. You really can't make a mistake. As long as you spray it and you get enough of glue, you can't make a mistake. You really can't over glue it. Cleaning the gun, I put my finger over it and I hit it for a second and it blows out anything inside. You'll know when you need to do that because it'll quit spraying as good. Now, if you hadn't done this, I've done it many times. You could lay this down, put the wood on top of it, and scribe around it. That way you would know exactly where the edges are. I'm kind of guessing, but I've been doing it for 25 years. The biggest mistake you can make is just like that. If you glue out and you did that, but all you got to do is spread it out. No big deal.
FYI, I use those guards there to keep the overspray glue off of my work table. I got some tables that from over the years, the buildup is like probably a quarter of an inch. That piece of plywood on the back side is protecting the table.
This is what it looks like up close. You just want to get it when it tacks up where it doesn't come off on your fingers. About 15 minutes. And I'll show you the next step. All right, these are dowels. You can get them from Home Depot or Lowe's. I think they're quarters. It don't really much matter. The biggest thing is making sure they stay clean. So if you put them down and they got something on them, it'll get on that. So what you do is you just put them about 6 inches apart. I put more near the end than I need. You take your piece, and whichever way your dowels are running, you go opposite with your curl. See this curl? That way when they set down, they don't touch. You don't even have to touch it. If you had it bowed, it could touch. So make sure you don't do that. Because you can move it anywhere you want it, and you just make sure that it's over now. Shake it to get it to move, and you can check it. Oh yeah, I got plenty of overage. Make sure it's over all the way around. Now take your center one, pull it out, lay it on top, and touch, just like that. Now grab the end and roll it back. Now, I can do this with my eyes closed. Long as you keep a bow in it and roll it, you can't make a mistake. See that? Just keep a bow in it and it rolls out, and you can't make a mistake. Pull it back. If you tried any other way, you could make a mistake. Keep a bow in it, and it lays right out. You ain't even got to look at it. Once you do that, come back, rub all over it, pick your dowels up. And I'd say to do a project like this, you can go buy 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, get about 15 dowels. You can use them for a lot of different projects. I store my dowels vertically in about a 10-inch piece of pipe. If you store yours horizontally in something, you got to make sure you clean them every time, because if there's a piece of something on there and it gets up under this, you'll see it. That's perfect. Now, take our tool. Again, when you start routing, you just follow it, lightly follow the edge. You can come off of it to cut it. I'm sticking it together. It sticks together and go in a trash can better. Now, all I got left to do tomorrow is that leading edge. I'm not going to do it tonight, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and that's it. This piece will be done. You'll see in the morning, you'll see tomorrow why I'd only done this much of it. The refrigerator is going to come out here and it's going to cover it. So there you go.
Guys, this is a different cabinet. This is actually the sink base. But what I wanted to show you here is you see that line? That is the outline of the piece of wood. I put it up there and I marked it so that I wouldn't be wasting a lot of glue and or laminate. So definitely a trick you want to employ on a piece that is small enough to use as a marker. So remember I said that the edge was the last thing I had to finish with that panel? Well, apparently I don't have that on video. So I'm going to make a short video here that you'll see next on how to do edges. Although there will be other examples and you'll see it. Okay guys, if you made it this far, you probably got some ugly cabinets in your boats and you need to do something about it. Send me an email to mike@michaeljsteen.com and I will respond to it with a list of things that I need measurements to tell you exactly how much it would cost for the laminates and all the tools you need to make your boat look new again. If you have a question about something, leave a comment. And if I get the same questions multiple times, I'll know I didn't explain something and I'll make a video about it.